Hello, welcome back to Team RunRun's interview series 5 by 20-second interview intervals. And today we're lucky to have Coach Dean Roehrborn from. Dean, where are you coming from today?
I'm coming from McHenry, Illinois. I'm in the McHenry High School weight room currently at the moment.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah,
And I heard it's a little cold over there today.
correct. It was like negative 10 degrees when I left the house this morning. So
All right. All right. Well, thank you for setting a positive example for us and being in the weight room.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's good for a warm up then. How long have you been a Team RunRun coach and what do you like about it the most?
Yeah, I started in, I believe it was May is when I officially kind of jumped on this past year. So yeah, May of 2024. And the thing I really like the most is just kind of getting access to, coaching people that I wouldn't have ever kind of met before, I guess. I know I'm coaching an athlete out of Portland right now, or I've coached people from like Pennsylvania and stuff. So it's been really cool to kind of like meet, have the opportunities to help these individuals across the country.
Yep, it is really neat the reach we have and people accessing the platform from all over the world, really. So, and then with your background as a high school cross country and track coach, what have you learned the most with that experience?
I think like the number one thing I've learned is just that like people don't know how good at running they are, I guess. Like they don't necessarily have, I think people kind of go into it thinking that they're like, oh, I'm not a runner. And they kind of go into running in that mindset because it's just very uncomfortable and people aren't used to doing it. But once you kind of give it an actual try and you actually start putting that effort forward, you really start seeing a lot of progress happen, fairly quickly. Yeah. So I think it's just kind of like, having an open mindset to trying it for the first time and really like dedicating yourself to it.
And I can see that being true at all ages.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that was true for me too when I got into it later in life. Cool. Well, with that, what's been your favorite workout to run or assign?
My favorite workout is I like divided 500s or 600s. So it's usually I have the athletes and I always jump in with them when they do this, but having the athletes run at probably like a 800 pace for about 300 or 400 meters or a little bit faster than whatever their goal pace is. So doing that for about a lap or half or whatever, three-quarters of a lap, then you get 30 seconds and then it's a 200 right afterward, as fast as you can. The kind of to simulate this idea of when you're coming to the end of a race and you are tired but you still need to like have that big kick at the end no matter how tired you are and just kind of giving your an all out effort. So you do like 3 sets of that over the span of of the workout. That's definitely my favorite.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, it's a good feeling coming around the turn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
kicking it out. Awesome. And then, along with that, what have you found to be the biggest key for runners of any age to unlock their potential?
I think the biggest key is just consistency across the board. I think the more you do it, and I think this applies to anything, but the more that you do something, the more like you kind of can see what your actual potential is. Whether, and again, it doesn't have to necessarily be running. If it was trying to save money or lose weight or eat healthier or whatever, like you just need to have that consistent basis of those like small habits that you do on a regular basis in order to ensure that you're achieving this kind of overall goal that you're trying to accomplish.
Yep, yep. Little chunks at a time, and you can't. One thing I tell my athletes all the time is you can't win a training session doesn't really get you very far. And then, lastly, how would you describe your coaching style?
I think I kind of a phrase that that I use at work a lot too, and I think it applies is being having high expectations but being highly supportive. I like setting those expectations of whether it's in races or whether it's in practices. It's like I want you to go. I want you to push. I'm going to push you to run further or faster than you've ever tried before, or what a little bit more than what you're comfortable with or what you think you're comfortable with, to try to unlock that potential that that they might have, while at the same time it's building those positive rapports with all my athletes, making sure like that they feel like they can actually come up to me and talk to me about anything that they're having issues with and stuff. And making those adjustments and based on their individual situations or whatever it might be, whether it's injuries or things that are happening outside of just the practices. There's I know, like as a person who coaches high school athletes, like there's always 100 things going on that you don't know about. So it's trying to adapt and work with them to the best of their ability while also keeping those high expectations of trying to develop them into being like the best versions of themselves.
And yeah, I mean, life happens. We're in touch with these athletes quite a bit. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, trying to be too specific can get in the way too, or too perfect.
Right.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Dean. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and we'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thanks.
All right, bye.
Bye.